Mr. Capert. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this practice part number 1, this simple blue cube. So what you want to do is first open up a new design. So notice it's this page looking thing and then new design. Now once in here, you need to start with a two-dimensional sketch. Anytime you're making something in 3D, you start with a 2D sketch and then you extrude it. So notice you hover over these buttons, they tell you what they do. For instance, create sketch. Enter sketch mode and creates a new sketch on a selected plane or face. That's what you want to do. Now it doesn't matter which plane you choose when doing. So you can choose whatever one you want. You can choose this plane or that plane. Normally I kind of just choose this plane. Now you're going to make this cube. You can use a line tool or rectangle to do this. Notice the rectangle's already pinned up on this toolbar. And notice once again it's got a description of it. Another tool you could use is line and trace out the cube this way as well. In this case it's easiest to do this rectangle. Just do a 2-point rectangle. Now, left click, always left click and let go. Never hold it down. A lot of students want to do that. Just click once and don't hold down your left click anymore. Now, notice at the bottom how that 52.855 millimeters is highlighted. You want this to be 1 inch. So put inches. Hit tab. And then what you want to do is make sure you put inch because it's inches. Hit enter a couple times, and what I forgot to do, and I made a correction there, is you want to change this to inches. For most projects we'll be using inches. So I did this drop down on document settings and then hit this to change the active units. I want to change them to inches and hit OK. Now I purposely made this the wrong size so I could show you guys how to make corrections. We really wanted this to be 0.75, so you can double click on that dimension and you can make it 0.75 to fix that. You can double click on this as well and make it 0.75, hit enter. Okay, make sure you're hitting enter. Now, a lot of students ask about these lines and they're in a different spot on their drawing. Doesn't matter where these are. These are pretend. They are imaginary. So you do need to click and drag these right now, actually. I'm just telling you that they're imaginary, not real. Now, this lights up in this light tan color when it's a closed profile. You got to have a closed profile in order to make it 3D. So you're going to hit stop sketch, and that gets you out of this 2D sketch mode. Now you can make this 3D by clicking on this extrude. Notice adds depth to a closed sketch profile or planar face. So you want to click on that, and then notice it says profile. You want to select what you want to extrude. There's only one thing here, you haven't drawn anything else. So you want to click on that, and then notice how this lights up. How much do you want to extrude it by? How deep is it? It's 0.75. All right, you could have also entered that up here. Hit enter. And then I'm going to show you a cool thing here for looking at things. If you hold down the shift button and the center scroll wheel, you've got to hold the center scroll wheel in this whole entire time. You can do what's called an orbit. Right? If you just hold the center scroll wheel only, it will do this, a pan on it. So you could be too close and you could go around and look at it like this. How I zoomed in and out is I used the scroll wheel. I just moved the scroll wheel in and out to zoom and zoom out. Now what I want you guys to do is add your initials onto this. So you're going to do a sketch again, but now you're going to do text. You're going to click where you want to put the text. Notice that lights up. This surface. Which surface do you want to put it on? Doesn't really matter since this is a cube, but let's just put it on this face. So now you're back in sketch mode again, and you want to put where you want to put this text. The text you want to put is your initials. All right, do not put my initials, put your initials. You put my initials, I am not going to count it and you'll have to redo it. And then we want to make this 0.5 is pretty big. You can do 0.5 and you can move this around too by grabbing onto that. You could also rotate if you wanted. I'm going to hit OK because I think I got it where I want it. Ooh, and you can change the font if you want to there. And you can bold it. Okay, so now I have my text, my initials. That's all I really wanted here. So I'm going to hit Stop Sketch. And then I'm now going to extrude my initials. Make sure, once again, see it says select your profile. What is it that you want to extrude? I want to extrude that. And once again, notice there's a box. If you extrude by 0.01, normally you can see that. Oh, I know what I did. I didn't do 0.01. I did 0.05. All right, hit enter. And then do your orbit to make sure it came out correctly. That looks really good. Last, what I want you guys to do is go modify appearance. And another thing I didn't show you guys is notice this A right here. That is a shortcut. So you could just hit A on your keyboard and go straight to this. Now under appearance, notice there's all these different colors if you scroll down. Now this one is underneath paint. Mine was already opened up because I've opened this in the past. So under paint, notice you got this enamel glossy blue. Take that over and put that on there. Notice I had bodies / components highlighted. So when I did that, it painted everything at once. Now I do want part of this to be black. So go faces and then notice there's black in here as well. Now make sure that you have this faces checked. Take this over and then the face, you might have to zoom in. Make sure that lights up, the right thing lights up. And then once again, you want to click, drag this, and put it onto that surface. I'm going to close this out because I'm done with that. Lastly, you need to save this. And in the future, you may want to save right at the start in case something happens. This should be saving since it's cloud-based, but I don't know that I would trust this. Now this is where do you want to put this at? All right, the location, I'm putting it underneath practice problems. If you wanted to put it somewhere else, you could put it somewhere else. You could start a new folder or a new project if you wanted. And I'm going to call this, I already did this one, so I can't really call it practice part number 1. You should do that. I'll just put version DC because I put DC on this one. You want to hit save. And it should now be saved, and notice how it shows up in this area. If this isn't up, it's not that big a deal. You can just go back and forth between these two. Notice back and forth between those two. Just different file folders.